What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another LEGO Star Wars MOC Showcase review. Today we have a very special MOC to cover, and it is the Republic Frigate. This is one of my favorite Star Wars ships in the Clone Wars era in particular, and they have made this as a LEGO set, but I missed out on it when I was younger, and I really wanted to have some form of it in my collection. This MOC was largely inspired by a user by the name of Fukuzaku, I believe is how you pronounce it. Don't quote me on that, but I will leave a link down below where you can check out his Instagram and his Flickr. This is a very, very awesome build that he has made, and essentially there are a lot of things that are the same, but there are also a lot of things that are different, so we're going to cover those today. And if you're interested in building something like this for yourself, I will try to point you in the right direction. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So obviously this is a MIDI scale model. It is a relatively decent sized build, but it's nothing gigantic like you would see with LEGO sets. And I actually really like MIDI scale models because they can be really detailed and also great for larger collections where you don't have a ton of space. And this one in particular, I really just feel like captures a lot of the right angles for this particular ship, and I think it looks really great in that way. So taking a front view here at the cockpit, you can see I use that trans blue piece there for the cockpit. I think it looks pretty good. I also use some of these dark red plates, which of course are resemblant of the Republic color scheme. I also added some smaller details here, like the guns here. These are the 1x3 lightsaber wand pieces, I believe, and there is a little bit of rotation there, but it doesn't stay on all the time, so you gotta be careful with that. Not a huge deal, as this is more of a display piece anyway, but just something to point out. This was probably the hardest section to design on the ship, and it is the escape pod. Underneath here, you can kind of see how the sloping is supposed to go. It's more, there's not really supposed to be this gap right here, but I just didn't have the right pieces for it. So basically how I was able to connect this is there is a piece here, and I'll just take this off really quick. You can see the bottom stud connects to the top piece of this, which is held on by a Technic axle. And overall it fits pretty well. It's not a perfect fit, but yeah, so I think it does a pretty good job for that purpose. Next up here, taking a look at the side paneling, you can see he used some interesting parts to capture very small details as seen on the ship. That is a battle droid body in a dark bluish gray attached with a clip and a stud there, and I think it looks pretty good. Cover up that kind of strange angle in that opening. But it works really, really well. He also used a lot of these 1x2 flat tile pieces. I think these work great. They're a relatively new piece, I believe, but they really, really help capture some of the sharp angles on this ship, and they just look really, really good. Next up, you can see we have the Republic emblems, obviously on the side there, and here is more of a top view of the main body. You can see we have the two guns here on the sides, and they do have a little bit of rotation, not a lot because they are attached by studs, but again, as I said before, this is mainly a display piece. It's not really meant for play. At the back there we have the I believe that is a 4x6 wedge plate, and again, that's a relatively new piece as well, but I think it works really well in capturing some of those sharp angles as seen on the actual ship. And then moving along to the back section here, you can see we start to transition from the main body to the back engines, and I've added some greebling, some details up there, a vent piece, just to add, a little more feature and detail to this ship. And then, of course, we've got more of those triangular plates that really, really help capture that sharp angle as we go back towards the engines. And everything here is tiled off, so it looks really, really great. And then we have the back gun and the antenna. The next hardest section, aside from the escape pod, was the engine design. And the engines, I will admit, are not the most stable thing in the world. They are held on by a Technic pin and a small wrench piece. It's just a small piece that hooks into one of the holes on these larger barrels and it keeps it in place. But they are a little bit wobbly. You know, it's still a good connection for the most part, but it's not perfect. And then taking a look at the back here, you can see some of that engine detailing, which I'm really, really happy with. I think that turned out great. And then we've got some tiling off there. And overall, I really, really like the look of this thing, especially how I was able to make that transition from the sleek and sharp edges there to the engine. So, and I think that looks really, really good. Now, obviously, this is not technically supposed to be on the ship, but it's the only way I could add some structural integrity to this thing to keep the engines upright. And there is just a small plate that runs through both of these. And I tried to add some greebling there to make it a little bit of a better transition. But yeah, overall, the engines, again, I'm pretty happy with, and I think they turned out great. So now we'll just take a quick bird's eye view and then we'll flip it over. You can see, I really think this guy, Fukusaku, really captured some of the angles of this ship perfectly. It's a great design, and I'm so happy I was able to find something that I could replicate like this. All right, so now we'll take a quick look at the bottom. There's not a lot to look at here, and I'm gonna keep the stand on just because of the purposes of this video, but you can see there's some inverted tiles there that help out. And then we've got the other two guns, couple plates, you know, it's nothing fancy, just a lot of the underbelly there that keeps the thing upright. And there is a stand that I decided to use, just using a 4x8 plate with two of these pillar pieces. So overall, this is an excellent design by Fukusaku, and I'm very, very happy I was able to create something similar to his design. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up this mock showcase. Be sure to let me know what you think of this mock in the comments down below. As always, I am very interested to hear what you guys have to say about this stuff. As always, please like the video if you enjoyed. It would help out the channel a lot. And definitely consider subscribing if you're interested in content like this, as much more is on the way. So, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in my next video.